In implementing the devolution agenda, the government of Zimbabwe's main objective is to achieve economic growth and development through a system which is community-based and people-centered. Such a system ensures equitable, sustainable, and shared responsibilities to benefit all citizens nationwide. Welcome to Economic Forum, where we discuss various issues affecting our economy in Zimbabwe. These can be issues to do with agriculture, with tourism, with education, with ICTs, and many other aspects of life. We bring them here and discuss how they benefit us economically. My name is John Masuku. Today we are going to be looking at provincial economies vis-a-vis the urban ones and how they actually impact on our economic development. And we are delighted to be having the Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution for Harare Metropolitan Province, and that's Honorable Senator Charles Tawengo. We welcome you to Economic Forum.
Thank you.
Yes. We hear about the Harare Metropolitan Province, and we know at one time you were actually the mayor of Harare. So what is the context of Harare Metropolitan Province?
Harare comprises of 4 local authorities, namely Harare itself, Epworth Local Board, Ruwa Local Board, and Chitumbiza Municipality. We are talking of a population of about 2.4 million people.
What is the Metropolitan Province known for? I know it's also the seat of government, that's where the head of state is, but among other things, what is it known for, especially when we come to economic development?
Harare is we term it the pulse of the nation, whereby all the manufacturing, the commercial issues, financial, communication, it is actually the trade hub of the country. And if we talk of agricultural produce, just refer that to Mbare. When you talk of Mbare, that's when you know the center in terms of trading of all commodities in terms of agriculture. It is the home to the highest number of tertiary institutions, as you are aware. If you name all of them, even those are in other areas, but their satellites are based in Harare. And also the health facilities, we have the best in the country and the biggest in the country, which offer health services, are based in Harare.
So, having mentioned all those things, what would be the GDP of such a huge province?
According to the 2023 statistics, our GDP for Harare province was 23.8%, and we are actually the highest.
Let's look at your plan, your provincial economic development plan. Then it will put in place some of the issues we want to understand.
We have a provincial development committee which seeks to map out and chart the way forward for the province. So we have to focus on infrastructure mainly, which are the enablers. How then does industry operate? Look, for instance, right now we are grappling with issues of water. So we have to address those issues. How do we deliver water to both residents and the industry? How are we planning in terms of energy? What is it that we have to do in terms of solar? How do we then generate power? In terms of roads, and I'm glad that the roads, we did touch on roads. We actually did develop major roads were so upgraded during the SADC time, and we are now focusing on other areas. We are also looking at ICT, health services. We have developed clinics in Epworth, in the Ruwa, which are now functional. Those were opened. And the one in Ruwa still has to be equipped, but that one will be functional again very soon. So we are directing our energies in all those areas. Also, in terms of education, we are opening various schools in various areas. And we are also very grateful to His Excellency, who has been championing the hubs, whereby we now have HIT, colleges in HIT, the University of Zimbabwe. So all those are assisting us. And we are focusing on those areas.
Just very briefly before we end this segment, are we making any progress with regard to the provision of water and electricity, because those are some of the main hurdles, including, waste management. Very
Yes,
briefly.
I'll start with waste management. You are aware that recently His Excellency, actually it was earlier this year, when the Pomona Waste Management was officially opened by His Excellency. So in terms of waste management, we have that center which is managing our waste as a province. What is still lacking is empowering the local authorities to have the capacity to move that waste to Pomona. We are still not happy as an office about, especially specifically Harare, where there are certain areas whereby they are not collecting garbage, including Mbare and the CBD itself, the central business area. But we hope that this will improve shortly. In terms of water, we have been assisting, and government has been assisting the city of Harare in terms of providing chemicals so that the raw water is treated and pumped into the various areas. But the major challenge so far is drawing water from the major dams. We are informed that the major dams, as of last month, one of them was 96% full, the other one 78% full, which meant that water could take us 2 years to consume. And then for specifically Chitungwiza, His Excellency has approved a plan to now have water drawn from Maronde, the Mchekerano, Wenimbi, then to Chitungwiza.
That's our guest for today, Honorable Senator Charles Tawengwa, who is the Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution for Harare Metropolitan. We are discussing Harare Metropolitan Province, which includes Harare, the city of Harare, as well as Chitungwiza, Epworth, and Rua, and see how the devolution agenda is being carried out in that metropolitan province. So join us in the second segment of Economic Forum. We are now in the second segment of Economic Forum, where today we are discussing issues to do with urban economies vis-a-vis the Harare Metropolitan Province, and we are honored to have the Minister of that province, that is Senator Charles Tawengwa. We've discussed a number of issues, first of all, to do with what the province is known for, as well as your provincial economic agenda. Let's look at the infrastructure. We've already mentioned that SADC, through our NDS1 as well, we managed to do the roads. But how about other infrastructure? What is it that you are doing to buildings in order to improve the structure and appearance of the province?
I'll touch base again. I'll come back to the roads. Because I cannot just be mentioning roads without mentioning the Mbudzi interchange, which is going to be a marvel for the nation, really. It's the first one and the only one in Zimbabwe, which is now about 73% complete. And we hope that this will be completed shortly. We recently opened various bridges around that area, allowing traffic to pass through. In terms of infrastructure, you are aware that we recently we opened the Robert Gabriel Mugabe International Airport, which has been upgraded in terms of the passenger capacity. It used to carry about 2.5 million passengers per annum, but the upgrade now allows it to accommodate up to 6 million passengers per annum. We recently opened the VVIP pavilion at the Robert Mugabe International Airport, which is now functional. Of major concern was the issue of regularization, which involves housing. Currently, we have partners who are on the ground, named Kwangu, who are looking into the issue of title deeds. And they've issued up to now 11,000 title deeds for both Epworth and Chitungwiza. People may think that it's very slow, it's taking time. But because of the way it is to be done, it's spatial, and then they have to, people on the ground, we have to do the actual measurements, etc. So it has taken time, but that is progressing well according to us. We also, recently His Excellency was in Zivaresekwa, where he opened officially Zivaresekwa blocks of flats. Also the Madokero Creek, that is in terms of housing. We now have the Claudinia flats, which has been developed, which will be very soon opened again. It's a phased area, but that is being done by an NBS. And then we have also brought in the private sector on board. With the private sector, I think we'll be able to meet our target of providing housing by the year 2030.
Let's look at other key players who are playing a significant role in sectors such as agriculture and impacting on your province.
We are the manufacturing hub, and in terms of value chain, we add value to all the produce that is grown around the country. And most of these companies are headquartered here, and their factories are here.
In addition to those, are there any other key players who are within the economic zone?
The economic zone currently is actually inviting players to come on board. They want to establish a solar farm, so they need a partner there. There are hotel facilities. There is a dry port, which they want to establish there. There is a housing project as well, which they want to establish in that zone. So, but the lack of funding is what is inhibiting the development of that area. And we are inviting investors to come on board and assist in developing that area.
In fact, you've already touched on the issue of investors. I was going to be asking about other investment opportunities besides those you've just mentioned. What are the other areas that really you'd want into the metropolitan province?
The metropolitan province, it's a center for opportunities, really. You want, let's say, talk for in terms of tourism. We still need more rooms, which means we need major hotels again to come into Harare, build these facilities, and provide beds for the tourists. Even in terms of processing, in terms of ICT, in terms of institutions, even schools, we are also approaching the issue of even clinics. Why our locals, the pension funds, is it not possible for them to build even these health facilities and then list them to local authorities or to government or to individuals in those areas? So there are various opportunities within us, even the transport sector. In terms of rail, we talk of the rail from Chitungwiza to Harare. That's been on the cards for years. Is it not possible then to bring somebody on board to assist us? We are talking of a shuttle service within the city itself, the CBD. Even in terms of the general transport, ZUPCO, yes, we acknowledge their role, but they are now overwhelmed. Can we not have an organized group which can come in to assist the ZUPCO to provide transport?
There are a lot of investment opportunities in the Harare Metropolitan Province, as you have just heard there from the Minister of State for Harare Metropolitan Province. So join us in the third and final segment of Economic Forum. We are now in the third and final segment of Economic Forum, where today we are discussing Harare Metropolitan Province, and we know that area stretches from the city of Harare to Chitungwiza, Epworth, as well as Rua. And we have the minister here, the Minister of State for that province, who is Honorable Senator Charles Tawengwa, who has outlined a lot of things that are happening in the capital city, as well as beyond, as we call it, the metropolitan. But you have outlined what investors. You have actually invited investors. But let's look at your attractiveness as Harare. What makes you attractive so that as you invite these investors, they know you are offering certain things?
Well, Harare, first and foremost, as I indicated earlier on, is a very safe, friendly destination. And then the environment generally is very friendly in Harare. And as I said earlier on, the infrastructure which we have laid, which is on the ground in Harare, can accommodate and can house investors. And also we have a very youthful, skilled manpower, which is readily available here in Harare. So it is very attractive.
You've mentioned a youthful, skilled manpower, but while there, are you fully utilizing these youths as well as having gender balance in order for everyone to be part of this development in the whole metropolis?
Our policies and the intention of the Second Republic is inclusivity. Everybody should come on board. But our local authorities should also have policies and plans to accommodate women and youth in their planning. And this is what we are urging them to do. We have actually urged them to have in every ward to have at least a working place for women, what we call term safe markets, and also an area for youth where they can carry on their works in terms whether it is industrial or whatever they want to do. So in the future, our planning is geared towards that. And also in terms of training, our various training institutions are training youth and women geared to be utilizing their hands so that whether they graduate or they are from high school or wherever, they have working places.
Yes.
So we have them on board.
One of the most pressing thing is service delivery, as well as how we receive it as residents in any city. Talk to the residents of Harare Metropolitan Province as a whole about service delivery, how you as government as well as the residents can work together in order to improve service delivery.
Well, we are doing our best, as you are aware. Government, in terms of service delivery, they come in whenever even local authorities are faltering. When we talk of Chenesa, when we term of Chenesa, this is government whereby government has intervened to assist the local authorities in clearing garbage in terms of waste management. We are now going into Chenesa 3 very soon. We have government coming in to assist local authorities, especially Harare, in terms of supplying chemicals in the treatment of our water. But what we are saying generally, for us and the local authorities to be able to deliver a service has to be paid for. It's not for free. We also have to play our role as residents. For whatever we utilize, let us pay for that service. We are not saying pay for what has not been delivered, but for what has been delivered, please pay. Let us commit ourselves to paying for that services, so that service delivery is continuous. We should not also be blamed for lack of payment.
Yes.
I appeal to us, to all of us, to be committed to pay those rates, those charges, whatever is required.
You've given a lot of examples from the city of Harare, and we still emphasize that Harare Metropolitan Province involves the other urban authorities. Just mention, urban authority by urban authority, what exactly you're doing, what are the major issues in Chitungwiza, in Rua, and Epworth.
I've been very fortunate that I've told all the local authorities, and we are aware of what is happening on the ground. They are struggling because of financial constraints. But we are happy now that most of them, and all of them really, are now developing master plans, which means from now on, in terms of development, it will be structured according to those master plans. Because all along it has been a free-for-all, where anybody could just develop anyway, and then we now struggle to regularize those areas. Because our concern is, sometimes you get to an area whereby you have may say 200 units of houses developed. Do you want us to just walk overnight there, raise those houses onto the ground? Where then do we relocate these people? So now we are replanning all those issues. And I'm glad that all the local authorities are coming on board in terms of regularization. We are glad that even in Nirua, in terms of waste disposal, they are planning for that, but they have a shortage of land. So we are assisting, we are talking to government so that they are also provided with land. So that goes, that is the same with Epworth. They need land. Chitungwiza, they also need land.
So in conclusion, Honorable Minister, are we going to see Harare Metropolitan Province being the shining province because of all that you have?
Yes, definitely. We are going to see that in the near future. We want that shine back in the city of Harare, the Sunshine City. We also wanted to see whether it's Epworth, Ruwa, Chitungwiza being referred to as exemplary local authorities in Zimbabwe and in the world. Recently, we introduced what we term the On Your Doorstep in Harare, whereby we are encouraging both residents and traders, whether commercial, industrial, to own the areas in front of their trading spaces. Where if you see it in Harare right now, some of the areas, the greenery, which is happening, where they are enhancing their neighborhoods, those are people who are owning their own area. So by greening and bringing people on board, that will happen. We are currently working on First Street, the First Street itself. And if I may preempt it, it's being spearheaded by the First Lady of Zimbabwe, so that we bring that glamour and sunshine back into the city of Harare. So we are working on it. Let us join hands and work together. It is very possible.
Well, Honorable Minister Tawengwa, it was a pleasure having you talk about Harare Metropolitan Province on this program. What remains is to thank you, listeners. You've heard it all about the Harare Metropolitan Province and how it is going to continue to shine, since it also includes the seat of government. If you would like to get in touch with us about this program and issues that we've discussed, including what is happening in the metropolis of Harare, please do so on the numbers that are showing on your screen. If you would like to engage about some of these issues, you may agree or disagree with what the senator was saying, you can also do that, and we can get in touch with his office on the social media platforms that again are showing on your screen. And if you have missed some of the episodes of Economic Forum, you can actually watch them on our YouTube channel, which is Economic Forum Zimbabwe. So on behalf of Honorable Senator Charles Tawengwa, who is the Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution in the Harare Metropolitan Province, this is John Masugu wishing you happy viewing.